Hi my loves, hi my loves, hi my loves, hi my loves. Hi everyone. Welcome to my page. And let me do a little bit of an intro. If this is the first time you're seeing me, my name is Maputi. And this video is going to be long, so I'm warning you from the beginning. And I won't be getting to the point. I'll be all over the show in the message that I'm going to give. There'll be a title up here somewhere. And stay at your own risk. If you do decide to stay, don't come bothering me in the comments telling me your data was what, hey, get to the point, hey, what. I don't want to hear those things. If you know you don't have data, skip. This is low. This video is going to be low. All my videos are low. And if you know you have short attention span, skip. This video is long. If you know you have anger issues and you don't like people that don't get to the point, skip. This video won't get to the point. We don't have the point. We're not going to the point. We will not get to the point anytime soon because there's still so much information to share. The people who follow this page need all the information that I'm giving, and this message, these videos are made for them. But TikTok, YouTube allows everyone to view. That's how it is. So we cannot just now prevent other people from viewing. If I could, I would have. If I could, I would have. And my ancestors took me to this platform knowing very well that there will be no way for me to prevent people from hearing my message. Now, if you do decide to hear my message, hear it because you want to hear it, and take what resonates and leave what doesn't resonate. Don't try and now want me to change things on my page. We're not doing that here. I'm not looking for followers. If you do decide to follow me, you follow me because you saw something beneficial, not because I asked you to follow me. No one is asking anyone to follow anyone here. I'm not gonna follow you. You don't have to follow me. And whether you choose to follow me or you don't follow me, you're more than welcome to watch my messages. Bye. I don't even know how I'm gonna structure this lesson. To those new here, to my followers, whoever, my followers know the drill. But to those new here, before you rush to my inbox, there's so many videos I've made. If you need tips, you want more information, or you want this, take time to watch my videos. They were the same way you take time to watch other series, Netflix, Scream Same, Generation, or what other movies you watch for 2-3 hours. Is the same time you can take time to go through the videos and learn. If you haven't taken the time to go through the videos and learn, please don't contact me. Leave me alone. Because these are the people that bother me in the inboxes. But to those of you who have went through many of my messages and feel that, no, I wanna ask for a consultation, this is how you ask for a consultation. You can inbox me and I'll share the prices. When you inbox me, greet me. I'm not your friend. We don't know each other. I don't care how old you are or whatever, we greet each other. You greet me and you write a clear and straightforward message. You don't say hi. You write a clear and straightforward message, hi. If you want to ask me how am I, you can say, hi, how are you? Or I'm here because I'm looking for prices, and I will answer you. If you just say hi, I'm going to delete that inbox and leave it there. If you say, hi, how are you? How was your day? I'm going to delete it and leave it there. And I'll respond to only inboxes. Now, if you like my stories and I accept your inbox, that does not give you the right to be messaging me and asking me questions. Get that right. Number 2, you're more than welcome to email me, whether you are on YouTube or whether you are on TikTok. There's my email there. On TikTok, there's a link to my email. On YouTube, my email is also written on my bio. You can go on it and email me for prices. If you are watching me, and there's a website. I have a website where you can go and look at my website. There's prices there. If you feel like you're not ready to book, but you just want to see how my prices are, on TikTok, there's a link to my website with prices there. Fine. That's how you book a consultation. People are so confused. That's how. And don't ask me how do I book a consultation in the comment. I have more than one price for consultation. Fine. Now, we're moving with the, I know on yesterday's videos, to my followers, to my loyal followers, my loves, who I call my loves, on yesterday's video I said that I'm gonna come back with the moon cycles because we are on the Godmother series. But in spirituality, you need flexibility. If you are not flexible, you won't get far. In spirituality, you need flexibility. And in the morning, they were like, nope. The moon cycles, how to work with it, the woman, the herbs, and the what. I was told to rewrite it in a more easier way, and they've added more information to it. So then that means that I have to go back write it, right? Now, in the midst of that, there was also so many things that were coming in, which I don't even know how I'm gonna structure this lesson. So this is an intro. And once I've figured out how to structure it, because there's going to be so much information that's coming up, and then I will then be able to come back with proper lessons. But here, this is touch and go. We touch and go here today. Okay, so now, yesterday, I told you that the male species is going extinct. Right? Those who were able to watch my stories, so I posted the research paper, the article. Well, not the whole article, obviously, but the snippets to the article where they were saying that the male chromosome, the Y chromosome, is going out of extinction, right? And a new chromosome is being birthed. So the male species is going out of extinction. Already the male species was already struggling behind, right? There aren't that many men on earth to start with. The earth is populated by women. Now, in the past 2 videos that I've made about, the one was about your menstrual cycle, the other one was about the Godmother, the Dragon Mother, Earth Mother, Dragon Mother, right? In those videos, I talked about how, and this is research, you can go research it, it's true, right? Even in the yesterday's video, someone even commented, and they've been studying it, right? Thank you. It's true. If you go do your study, a woman does not need sperm to create a baby. And many tribes in Africa are practicing this law. And they've been practicing this law for many generations. Even in research papers, they teach you that the egg decides if it wants to be fertilized by a sperm. And out of 1,000,000 sperms that can come out of a man, the egg can decide whether it will choose one or it doesn't choose them at all. So a female becoming pregnant, and also one thing that I've been learning in my research is that when, just like the DNA, the melanin DNA, which has its own brain cells, which has its own thinking, which can act independently on its own without being influenced by the brain in the body, the eggs in the female body also act independently. They also act independently without being influenced by any decision that the female makes. So they have a life and soul of their own, and then they decide. So it doesn't matter if a female decides they want to fall pregnant. If their eggs decide they don't want to be fertilized, they won't be fertilized. And also the eggs decide to be fertilized based on the quality of sperm. And majority of men have a low sperm quality, first of all. And then secondly, their sperms are deformed. Their sperms are deformed, meaning that their sperm quality is not healthy. right? Because many men don't take good care of their own bodies and what, right? So sometimes infertility has nothing to do with the woman, because the woman is producing the sperms, is producing the eggs, sorry. But majority of the time, 70% of the time, infertility is a man. And because the world is patriarchy, the system is patriarchy, the woman is always the one blamed when kids are not being birthed. And even when tests are done, the tests are always done on the woman to check if she's fertile. But it's very rare for tests to be done on a man. It's even rare culturally, in many cultures, for a man to be guided and told what he needs to do in order to be fertile. It's always the women who are told, you need to do this, you need to do this. But majority of the women, their eggs have no issues. They're actually fertile. Many women, when they go, they find that they're the most fertile people ever. And they have no issues. It's just that their eggs just don't want to merge with the sperm's quality and the sperm and DNA that's coming in. Okay. So now, with that, it means that pregnancy is a divine process. It's a process that's decided by the DNAs. It's a process that's decided by the sperms, by the eggs. Now, with that said, it means that sperms don't play an important quality or decision or have a purpose in creating life. They don't play that. So the question I've been asking in the past 2 videos has then been, what then is the role of the male species? What is the role? Why were they created? Because they were never created for creation. Because creation can happen without them. Creation can happen without them. They were never created for making babies or creating life. Life can be created without them, right? I took you down a series of different goddesses who we also call Earth mothers in many mythologies across to a few countries. I couldn't go to all. We would have been there the whole day if I went to all of them, but all of them sound the same. All of them across the world say the same thing, right? So now, I wanted to proceed with the mother god, but then I'm told that before we can, well, not that before we proceed, but I'm told that we also need to look at Father God, right? The only way that the male species, okay, before even we get there, the reason why I'm making this is because, so there's 2 things that have been happening. There's 2 things that have been happening. One is a recent occurrence which happened in the yesterday at, well, this morning at night, at the early hours of the morning, where I had a dream, and I had a couple of men, many of them, right, who were coming to me in groups, and they were all asking me the same question. How then do we find the truth of who we truly are? Where do we go for the truth? Where do we go for the truth? Where do we go for the truth? And I'm thinking there, I'm like, yo, why are you all asking me? Why are you all asking me? I'm not a man. Right? So now I woke up and I realized that the videos that I've been making, many of you as men have been pondering about them and asking yourself these questions. Some of you even started asking yourself these questions way before I even started making these videos. Before I even started making these videos. So it's not to say that this is revolutionary, right? I'm bringing something that some of you don't know. No. Many of you have been asking yourself these very self-same questions because things have been coming into your mind, right? Now, the second occurrence that has been happening is since the Leo Gate portal. After doing all my rituals that I needed to do, because I had specific rituals that I was instructed to do by my team, and after doing all those, I have been hearing an echo, a voice echoing to me, right? And the voice, I've been hearing the voice of the Source Father echoing to me. And the Source Father has been trying to send messages to me. Right. Now, in terms of the Source Father, those who are new here are probably confused. I think I did make a video when I was talking about, in one of the videos, I talked about the different gods and goddesses, right? And I told you there's a Source God and a Source Mother. Source Father and a Source Mother. But then there's Mother Earth, who rules over this earth. And then there are goddesses from other planets who rule over those planets. And there are gods from other places who rule over those places. Now, in my whole, well, most of my life, I've always heard the voice of the Source Mother, right? I've always heard the voice of Mother God. I've always heard the voices of the goddesses. I've always heard the voice of the Source Mother. The Source Mother, not regularly, but even from a young age, I've had encounters where I've encountered the Source Mother. So that's nothing new to me. So that voice, I know it very well, and I've been guided through it a lot. Now, my first encounter with the Source Father was recently this year, when I was then given confirmation that I have passed Earth. Right? When I got my confirmation that I passed Earth in a dream vision, there was a dream lucid vision, and I left Earth and then I went home. And then when I got home, I couldn't go home, but there was a meeting point. There was a meeting place where we could go and meet. And in that meeting place, a very white, beautiful place, I met Source Mother and Source Father, and I was with my sister, right? And then we were there. I think I've shared this once in one of my videos. And then we were there, and that's when I was told, you did it, right? You both did it. Me and my sister were told you both did it, even though my sister was like, yeah, no, I had to drag her through Earth to make it, but she made it. All that matters is that she made it. And one day when me and her meet, we will be happy, because I'm not going to exit Earth alone, but I'm going to exit Earth with my sister. Fine. Now, when I met the Source parents, when you finish Earth and you are told you've passed and you're ready to become a god, you will always be visited by the Source Mother and the Source Father. When we met them, the person who did the talking was the Source Mother. The Source Father didn't say anything, but I did notice the look of tenderness, the look of love, the look of proud, like I'm so proud of you, that he gave me. And I was like, so that kind of stayed with me even after the dream. And that was my first encounter, right? I've met many male archangels, many male gods from other dimensions. I've met many ascended masters who are male. I've met a few other, right? I've worked with ancestors who are male, but I've never, ever had that encounter with the Source Father. When I came back, the first thing that I realized was that the knowledge of God that we have is distorted. Right? The God that well, I've known this. I've always known this, but it was just like a confirmation. It was just like a confirmation. And lately, I've also been noticing that when this voice echoes, and it's far, and it's talking in a vibrational thing, to the point that when I hear it, my whole body vibrates, right? And this voice wants to talk to me, which is normal, because I'm not used to its vibration and its energy, because I'm always communicating with the Source Mother. So I'm not used to its energy and vibration, right? But it will take me time to get used to it, and once I get used to it, I'll then be able to hear clearly the message that the Source Father is saying to me. When I started this series, I kept hearing one particular message: you cannot talk about the Source Mother without talking about the Source Father. But the thing about it is that there isn't that much knowledge about the Source Father. And for the men to truly know what their purpose is, they have to understand the Source Father. Just like how for a woman to truly come into her power, she has to understand the Source Mother. Okay. And as humans, we are the most lost people, right? We are the most lost people. Now, okay. Now, Earth is created for a particular purpose. Earth was created by Mother Earth, Dragon Mother, for a particular purpose. This is not the only Earth that's ever been created. There are many other Earths that have been created, right? If you are a person who studies, who does not just only rely on the Bible to tell you what is happening, if you are a person who's actually interested in learning more knowledge than what you are fed, you will even know that even in this galaxy, there's another Earth that looks exactly like this one. The only thing about it is that it does not rotate. So it only has one side that's dark and the other side that's light. It does not rotate. This one rotates, so it has an ecosystem. And even in that Earth that does not rotate, there is plants, there's vegetation, there's life on that Earth. Even astronomers tell you that there's life on other planets, right? That's why they want to go to Mars, because there's life on Mars. People can actually live on Mars. It's just that it will take a little bit of time for the human body to adapt to the harsh weathers of Mars, but you can live on Mars. And Mars is not the only planet that you can live on. It's just that other planets have a belt around them, and the belts are very hard to penetrate with the human body. Now, this Earth was created for a purpose, right? Now, I'm going to recount a vision that I had many years back. In that vision, it was when Earth was created, after Earth was created. And Earth, they don't lie when they say it was a beautiful garden. Earth was a beautiful, the whole Earth, not a particular part of Earth, no. The whole Earth was a beautiful sanctuary of a garden. It was a beautiful garden with depth, with beauty, with light. It just radiated in a beautiful, in a different vibration. And it was created after many trials and error. This is not the only Earth, as I said. There are many Earths like this. But this one was created after many Earths were created. And it was created where other Earths were created by the goddesses. This one was created by the Dragon Mothers. It was created by the Dragon Mothers. Now, there is a purpose why the Dragon Mothers created this Earth. Because they wanted it to be the training ground and the sanctuary for the goddesses to come and get initiated. To come and get higher knowledge, to come and be trained, to come and evolve into their dragonhood. Right? And so this is the place where the goddesses in training would come and learn and do this. And it was a beautiful sanctuary, and the learning was magnificent. Right? Now, in that period, there were only females, because this is a female planet. This is a very highly female planet. Hence, that's why even yesterday, when I told you about the elements of the female elements that the Dragon Mother used to create the Earth, where are they? I told you that they are the night. In every Earth, there's night. Depth, there's depth of the sea, there's water, there's the element, and there's eternity. And obviously vegetation, life-giving creation, that's a female element, right? So the earth was very feminine, matriarchy, and there was only women. And hence that's why if an egg doesn't need a sperm, because it never did need a sperm. It has always created itself, and it always produced other females. That was the purpose of earth. But earth, because it was created by the dragon mothers, it wasn't just created by the goddesses, it was created by the dragon mothers. And there were 7 dragon mothers, right? This is from the vision that I saw. I don't know if you find this information on the internet. I never found it. Some of you have seen it also in your own visions. It was created by the 7 dragon mothers. Hence, that's why many people will teach you that dragons were there when the earth was created. Dragons played an important role in creation, but there were never male dragons. I'm not saying there are no male dragons. There are male dragons, but there were never male dragons. This earth was created by only dragon mothers. And the dragon mothers created this place to be a sanctuary for the goddesses to come. And they went above and beyond in creating. Like it's as if, like, you know, when you outdo yourself and create a masterpiece. It was created a masterpiece. And the goddesses would come here. And when they leave the school of the goddesses, they will be highly evolved. But also earth had something that was not easily found in other planets, because of the creation of the 7 dragon gods who came with their different elements. Dragon mothers who came with their different elements and combined the 7 elements, and then created a kaleidoscope of resources. So the earth itself started becoming a living being that is not found in the galaxy. And it started having elements that are not found in other planets, right? And one of that element was gold. I'm sure many of you have seen or have read people talking about how the certain beings who came here and they wanted to mine gold, right? One of the elements was gold. Others were diamonds. Others were things that are not easily found in other planets. Okay, now with that, it became not only a sanctuary. That's why, also before I even go to other things, that's why many women love gold and diamonds. And that's why we're told materialistic, but you're not materialistic. You are just in alignment with the earth and how you were created. You were created to actually love these things because they are part of you. That's why some kids, when they are born, which many people don't know this, and they are lost, but when some kids are born, they're born holding crystals. There are some children who are born born holding natural minerals. If your womb can create a human and then create a human holding something before the human comes out, then it shows you that probably you could also create whatever the human is holding was also created in your womb, just because the diamond is also created in the womb of the earth. The gold is created in the womb of the earth. All crystals are created in the womb of the earth. Hence, that's why even in mythology, dragons are always found by gold, diamond, silver, or precious metals. And they represent wealth and prosperity, because the wealth and the prosperity of the earth comes from them. Fine. Now, diamond, gold. Also, women vibrate high when they wear gold. For some reason, it's as if when you're a woman and you wear gold, that's why I love wearing gold. When you're a woman and you wear gold, you vibrate higher and you get access and connect better. That's why women love gold, love shopping, because earth had been created for them. A woman is supposed to thrive and be materialistic on the earth system, because the earth system was created for her to be materialistic and to experience the beauty of materialism at its core, and its rawness, and it's abundant. That's why earth is abundant, and it will always be abundant. It's not lacking, because as a female, you're not lacking, you're abundant. The earth, the depth, the sea. In the sea, there are pearls. And those things, you gravitate towards them because they are part of your vibration. And as a woman, when you deny yourself those things, you go out of flow. Many of you know you love these things, but because the world told you loving them is materialistic, just like how they told you honoring your periods and being on your periods is daily, just like how they told you you need to be submissive when you are not submissive. They told you you are materialistic because they just didn't want you to vibrate higher. Fine. So now gold is also found, many visions of the prophets will always tell you that the heavens that they see, the streets are painted in gold. Pearly gates of heaven, there's pearls, right? They talk about the diamonds, they talk about the people looking copper, right? So there is something here on earth that then it was found, it was created out of the 7 dragon mothers. Hence, that's why the mythologies all sound the same, but the names are all different. It's not just one person. Must never confuse that. The mythologies might sound the same and act the same, and the women have the same purpose, but they're never the same. There's always 7 of them. Okay, fine. Now there's some element here on earth that was needed. And some species were sent on earth, firstly, to come and get that element, right? But then others were sent. Then now we start getting certain species that are coming for certain purposes, right? In the golden age, which is the golden age, in the golden age, a lot of interdimensional beings were sent to earth, right? In the beginning, there were no humans on the earth. It was the gods. Only the goddesses used to walk the earth. And then that was the golden age. But earth had a high vibrational point that the goddesses were now elevating to a certain level that many of the beings could not get to when they come here. And this was the best. So a goddess needed to go through so many things in order to be accepted into the school. But with time, the goddesses started vibrating too high, and they needed to counter. In the heavenly realms, there has to always be balance. And so other souls were sent here, which are the gods, were sent here. And that's why you were always told that the gods used to walk the earth before the humans, right? And then now they started all training and learning and training and learning and training, intertwining. Some of the gods will also come to get the gold, to get the minerals, and to take it back, whatever. There were many things that were interdimensionally happening here. And then, because it's school, we all have been to school, and we all know not everyone passes the same at school. And not everyone who came to earth passed in the same degree. And others felt that when they got back to their own home, they were not given the proper resources and the honor that they felt they wanted. And some felt that they would want to come and rule earth and be the ones that control what we do here. They want to be the ones that control what we do here, right? Now that was in the gods, and then the gods and the goddesses era. Okay, fine. That's how far I saw the vision. Now I don't know how a human being was created and the point of a human being entering that story after my vision. So I don't know where the human being entered, right? But now we are in a situation where the humans are here. And the humans are both male and female. Right? Now, I've told you this many times, that there are 4 types of souls on earth. There's the earth-based souls. Earth-based soul, there's a nursery somewhere in the galaxy somewhere, where they create souls, which are created specifically for the purpose of being on earth. Some says in other texts, in other ancient texts, they say that those souls were created because they were the ones that were supposed to come mine the gold. I don't know if it's true, but many people have said that, right? Going into conspiracy theories now. And then I don't know what the purpose of the earth-based souls are, but the earth-based souls also have an opportunity to reincarnate and ascend, and if they can do their reincarnation better, then they're able to ascend into higher realms. There's the interplanetary souls of this planet, meaning that the souls that belong to this galaxy, that come from Venus, all these planets here, and they also come to Earth for a particular purpose. There are many galaxies. I'm sure by now you know this. If you've been following me, you know there are many galaxies. And you don't need me to tell you that, but you can even go ask NASA. NASA will tell you there are many galaxies. Okay, fine. And then we have the intergalaxy souls, which come from different galaxies, right? Which come from the different galaxies. They use the gates of the gods, which is in Saturn, to enter this galaxy. And in other galaxies, they use other gates, portals. Fine. And then we have the heavenly souls, the souls that come directly from the source. And all these souls, all these characters, all have been coming at different intervals for different purposes on Earth. Right? Some of them at some point decided that in the golden era, some souls decided that they want to experience having a body. From what I've learned, many souls could come in, many different souls could come in, experience Earth, and leave without gaining a body. But then some of them decided that they want to gain a body. Now I'm guessing this is after the earth-based souls had already been created, right? Because the earth-based souls also gain a body. They need a body for reincarnation, because some of the gods realized that when you gain a body, you elevate higher. If you can pass Earth having a body, you're given a higher status than if you just pass it without a body. And that's when now the gods, in order for the gods and the goddesses to be able to enter into the souls of the body, to enter and have bodies, they then needed to mate with the humans on Earth. And this is where they tell you in Genesis or in the Bible that the gods came on earth and saw that the daughters of men. Right? Be very, when you read the Bible, be attentive. There's nowhere where it says that the gods saw the sons. Well, maybe they said the sons and the daughters of men, but they said the daughters of men. They said the sons of God came on earth and saw the daughters of men, and that they were beautiful, and they decided to mate with them. In the mating process, a new breed was created, and this breed of beings was not originally from Earth. It was a breed of beings that was created through the mixing, the DNA manipulation, so that a God's soul can enter a human body. And they had to mix it. And this breed of humans with highly intelligent, they were giants, they were intelligent above and beyond, right? Now they say that they were destroyed, but from what I've seen, the giants didn't have an issue. Right? A new breed of humans were created. Now, with this breed of new humans created, it allowed the gods to be able to have access to the human body and be able to access the human body to be able to reincarnate. But the issue is that not all gods had a pure purpose as to why they wanted the human body. Some wanted the human body to rule. Some wanted to cause chaos. Some wanted to do many things. Now, what do I mean when I say the gods? Let's get into the gods. I've told you this in the True Knowledge video. I've told you this before, that in the Hermes Iliad and the Odyssey, which is the Greek original spiritual writings, they always say that the gods used to come to Ethiopia. And when they would come to Ethiopia, that's where the Greeks will go to learn, right? And the oldest recorded name of the gods in the Mesopotamian religion, Canaanite, before it became Babylonian, the Canaan and Mesopotamia, we learn that the pantheon god, which is a division of a council of gods, which is the pantheon gods, the division of the council of God, we learn of a god named El, which is God. And then we learn of Ashura, which is the mother god, the wife to El. And then El was the leader of the Canaanite god, the creator, who created in accordance with Ashura. But also because that was Patriarchy. Before Patriarchy, Ashura was the only one who created, right? But El was always there. Then we learn of Elohim. Elohim, right? The one that they talk about always in the Bible. Elohim, it is what the name Elohim means, the gods. Doesn't mean God, it means the gods. It's a Phoenician Canaanite name for the gods. And in the Canaanite text, we learn that these children who were the gods, the sons and daughters of Ashura and Elohim, we learn that there were some texts say there were 70, some texts say there were 88, some texts say there were even 100 of them. Some say there were 1,000 of them, many of them, right? This is the 114 that everyone always talks about. They are part of it, right? And those include the sons and the daughters of God who came on earth, right? They're not the humans. Now, prominent names of those sons and daughters of God, we learn of Yahweh, the God of Israel, the God of war, that the Israelites decided to take as their God. Baal, the God of storms, is also part of those gods. And in the Hebrew text, they say that in the beginning, the Elohims created the heavens and the earth, right? Meaning that the gods, not God, the gods created. That's why they say, let us make man in Genesis it says, let us make man in our own image and likeness. Now that's when man was created. Man was created. The human body was then created because it needed to house the souls of the gods so that they are able to experience a particular level, 10-dimensional level of godhood training. And that's when they now says they made man in the what in our own image and likeness, and then they were given the souls, right? That's when the story of Adam and Eve came into being. But then also in other texts, when you read the Hebrew text, you also learn that it says that the earth was desolate. The earth was desolate, meaning that it had been destroyed. So there was something that destroyed the earth before the creation of Adam and Eve. Why? What destroyed the earth? Because even Adam and Eve, they are told to say, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. I mean, redo it again. meaning that they were created and they had to redo it again. Not only that, we also learn that Adam and Eve were not the only people on earth. There were other people living on earth, even when they got out of the garden. So Adam and Eve were created somewhere, put in the garden, and then they were told, given instructions, and then afterwards they were taken out of the garden. When they were taken out of the garden, there were already people living on earth. Who were those people? And then the sons of Adam and Eve, daughters of Adam and the sons of Eve, started marrying other people, right? Who were those other people who were living on earth, right? Because the Bible, the New Testament, the Old Testament, the first 5 books of the Bible were written by Moses, who stole them from Egypt. So there's a lot of misinformation, and there's no chronological order in there as well, because there's the Tower of Babel, and then God destroyed, then there's Noah and what, so a lot of things are not in chronological order. But one thing for sure is that there was a war, there was a destruction of earth, and the war of earth happened between the gods and the goddesses, who were fighting for dominion on earth. Well, the gods, some of the gods came because they wanted to dominate earth, right? And then there was a war. Some of the gods and the goddesses were defending earth for it being taken and being used for a purpose it was not meant to be used. And there was a destruction. And when there was a destruction, a new breed of humans were created, because the first breed of humans which was created was a little bit different and acted in a different way. So a new breed of humans were created that could house the bodies and souls of the gods, right? Not every human being who walks on earth has a soul in a body of a god. That's why there's a trend called the chosen one, because the chosen ones are the ones that are inhabiting. They are the gods and the goddesses inhabiting the human body on earth to train and perfect their godhood. So I always tell you, earth is the best school for godhood, right? Where you train to become a god. Now, if we look in the civilization of Mesopotamia, we look also in the civilizations of Kemet, there is a similarity in certain things which are said, right? There's a similarity in certain things which are said. In Mesopotamia and Egypt, in Kemet, we learn of different people. In Mesopotamia, they tell us about the gods who were the Anunnakis. The gods who were the Anunnakis. And the Anunnakis came and they gave them literature. They gave them literature. They gave them engineering. They gave them medicine. They gave them all this other stuff. And the Mesopotamian, within a space of 100 years, the Mesopotamian civilization, the Mesopotamian people were a tribe who were civilized and highly developed in just 100 years. They had every single thing that we have today in just 100 years. And they say that all those things were given to them by the interdimensional beings known as the Anunnakis, right? So to learn about the Anunnakis, go to Mesopotamia. You will learn better about the Anunnakis. But then, okay, let me see if I'm forgetting anything here. Right? And then you also learn about different other characters. Okay, let's look at in Egypt, right? We then learn about in Egypt, they also have their own gods. We learn about Osiris, right? We learn about Osiris, and we learn that Osiris was a being who also came on earth, was a very powerful being who came on earth for a particular purpose. And we learn a lot of things from Osiris. Osiris wasn't originally from earth. At least with Osiris, we have a little bit of a knowledge. Osiris was from what we call he came from he originated from the Osirian system, which is found in Orion, the constellation of Orion. That's where Osiris came from. And Osiris didn't come alone. He came with a group of knights, which are called the Jedi. Djedi, D-J-E-D-I, Djedi. That's where the name Jedi comes from, right? Star Wars copied everything in Kemet, and then they created the Star Wars franchise out of what they were learning from Kemet, right? Fine. We don't have time to go into that, right? Osiris, we learn of him. He came with the knights. There were the knights, the Djedi knights, who came from the Orion belt, the constellation of Osirian, the Orion belt, the star cluster, right? And they came on Earth for a particular purpose. They had a mission here on Earth. The same thing in Kemet, we also learn of Thoth, who was an important character, who was sent on Earth by his father, Ra. And Ra told him to go and teach the people of Earth. He ruled over Egypt after the destruction in Atlantis. He came and ruled over Egypt, but Thoth also did something. He would also visit other places, right? In the Sacred and Secret Society video, I told you about that there was a visitation where we would go and look at other places, because every single thing that we came with from Atlantis, we needed to now share it, and we needed to spread it out into the world. And there was a leader who always went around and checked if everyone is doing things right, right? In the Egyptian Kemet, they say that it was Osiris. I say that it was Thoth. Sorry, not Osiris. They say it was Thoth. And he would go around and teach the different civilizations, mathematics, chemistry, alchemy, medicine, all those other stuff, right? What they don't tell you in my vision, he was always with his wife. Now, well, they don't tell you about Osiris also having a wife. They don't never tell you about Thoth, because majority of those things were patriarchal. It was after the system when the matriarchs were no longer ruling in power, right? And even in many pantheon system, they always talk about the sons of God. They never mention the daughters of God, right? Now, if there is a particular purpose why, as a man came on Earth, the male species came on Earth, right? The male species came on Earth. The male species came on Earth for a particular purpose. What is that purpose? I'm still being taught. One day we'll talk about it. I'm still being taught. Now, the male species is not living its purpose on Earth, and because of that, it's going extinct. Why is the male species not living its purpose? Because those who decided they want to rule on Earth, in order for them to destroy the goddesses who were the rulers of Earth, they needed to create. They needed to rule. They needed to rule. And so with them ruling and taking power of creation means that they're introducing a system that was never followed to begin with, and a system that the man did not come on Earth to follow. And so with that, I think it's in the Osiris, when you learn about them, is that one thing that they say about them is that they come on Earth every 14,000 years, a cycle of 14 years, and the awakening of the Jedi, something about that. And when they awaken, they set things in order. And I think it is the awakening of the Jedi is 40 million. I think it's also the starting of the Golden Age, when they prepare to usher Earth into a Golden Age, into another Golden Age, when they prepare Earth to usher into the split of the new Earth, because the Earth has to go. The Earth has been through a lot, and it's about to be reborn into a new split, right? But in order for Earth to be reborn, if the man do not go back to their original self, they will be left behind on the old Earth, the Earth that is full of war and destruction. Because the male species are the ones that are always initiating the wars and the destruction. And if the male species does not go back to its original form, then the Earth is going to detach itself. Mother Earth is going to detach herself into a new vibrational Earth. And the male species will be left behind. And hence, that's why their DNA is becoming extinct. The only way to preserve their DNA, it is for them to find their true identity as to why. Why were they created on this earth? Why? Why are they here? Right? And the reality is that to the male species is that I can't tell you why you were created. I can't even give you all the information because it's not my purpose. I have my own purpose. We as the women need to also gain our powers. We as the women need to also come into our own being so that we ascend with Mother Earth. And the women have started subconsciously going back and taking back their own power, going back and reclaiming who they are. And many of the women are going celibate, and many of the women are decided to remain single. And with that, many of them will ascend, because many women don't need a man. Many women who are extraordinary are 1,000 times better than the extraordinary men, right? So they don't need a man. So the man needs to elevate, and for a man, you'll need to hit the call. You'll need to start asking questions, the right questions. Stop asking about the woman. Ask about yourself. Why was I created? What is my purpose for being here on earth? Am I living out a reality that will turn me into a god? And if I'm not, what should I be doing right now? How should I be structuring myself? If you all continue to be barbaric, continue to rape, continue to bring war, continue to bring disharmony, continue to beat, dominate, kill, do crime, do all these things, you're not living your purpose, because that's not what you were created for. That's a barbarian. It's a barbarian default from your original self. That's not what you were created for. But what were you created for? That's the question. What were you created for? Because us as women, we kind of figuring out what we were created for. We kind of start to get it, because, and it's easier for us to get it because this is our home, right? This is, the planet Earth is vibrating at a female rate, so it's easier for us to pick it up. But you are disconnected because this is not where you belong. And now many of you must go back and ask, where do I belong? Where do I come from? What is the planet that I need to go into? All right, thought-provoking. Hopefully I'll come back with a clear. I'm still also trying to figure out what the Source Father is saying. And hopefully the Source Father will send me a message and give me a clear lesson that will guide us. All the other stuff that I've written here, they're not that important. One day maybe I might get into a lesson about them, but not now. I'm even running out of time. Why are you here as a man? Why? Because you don't vibrate properly. You don't connect properly with this earth. And where did you come from? And why did you come here? Because you are glorious being. Men are very glorious being. As much as women are glorious, but men are also glorious, but they are living not even 2% of their glory. I mean, like the women, we are not living 10% of our glory. And yet, we can do many things. And a man not living even 1% of his glory is considered amazing. Hi. Then there's something missing here. All right, my loves. Let me go.